I want to briefly introduce you to crop-specific fertilizers. For quite some time, I've been talking about the need for you as farmers to use crop-specific fertilizers. That is, fertilizers that are mainly blended for your crops. It is important for us as Nigerians, as people who are experienced in the fertilizer and the farming industry, to be able to guide you aright. If you have been following this page closely, you will realize that, virtually everything I do, I try to give you the best. I try to see that, I reveal hidden secrets in farming, in agriculture, that will transform your life, that will transform whatever you do in your farm. I have this burden in me to introduce this fertilizer to you, but I don't want to make it look as if I'm trying to use this platform to advertise certain products. No. So today I want to introduce you to 3 crop-specific fertilizers. Why is it necessary for you as a farmer to look for crop-specific fertilizers? You see, the truth of it is that there is no any crop you will grow or you are growing that only require 3 elements. There is no any crop that you are growing today that require only nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. No. But when you search our market deeply, all you will see is we have generic fertilizers. That is, fertilizers that contain only nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. As a maize farmer, you need to know that what your maize required from you goes beyond nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And that is what this specific fertilizer stands to bring. If you have been searching for maize fertilizers that are blended specifically for maize alone, then look no further. What are the elements that you stand to gain when you buy this fertilizer or you get this fertilizer? Now, this fertilizer is popularly referred to as NPS plus. Whereas the generic fertilizer you are used to in the market is NPK. Most people, as a matter of fact, most people usually go for the 15-15, thinking maybe the 15-15 is better than the 20-10-10. Yes, the quantity, the percentage of the P and the K in the 15-15 is greater than that which is in the 20-10-10. What you will get in this fertilizer, what your crop will benefit from this fertilizer, is quite different from any other fertilizer you will see in the market. This is not a paid advert. I'm standing from the place of authority as an expert in the fertilizer industry. Let me guide you. Let me be your guide. Yes, you've tried different fertilizers, but you've not tried this yet. Now, in this fertilizer, you see you have 14% nitrogen in this fertilizer. You have 31% phosphorus. If you have been looking for DAP to apply to your crop, then this is a fertilizer to use. In fact, in some other countries like Kenya, they call this DAP plus. They have this fertilizer that is 18 or 16% nitrogen and 30-something% phosphorus from Seed Pro. They call it DAP plus. This is DAP plus in Nigeria. Like I said, you have 14% nitrogen, you have 31% phosphorus, and then you have what? 2.63% sulfur, you have 1% of zinc in it, and then 0.2% boron. Briefly, let me tell you something. You see, because we are trying to talk about maize fertilizer, I just sketched this out so that I can be able to tell you some things about maize plant. That if you use this fertilizer, different elements will play different role in the life of your maize plant. So that if you are just using the generic fertilizer, then I will tell you there are certain things in the development of your plant that will be missing. Your plant will miss a lot of things if you are only using the generic fertilizers. Now you see, nitrogen generally plays a vital role in the overall growth and development of your plant. Be it rice, beans, maize, potato, cocoyam, whatever type of crop you are growing, let me tell you, nitrogen plays the role of overall development, growth of your plant. And that is why if you are growing maize, for example, and then you are using urea at the start of it, there is a tendency that you will see the plant looking greenish. But when it comes to copse development, when it comes to the development of the tassel, the silk, and then other components or part of your maize plant, you will discover that your plant is lacking in it, whereas it is looking greenish. Our target is not just for the plant to look greenish. We are after the copse. We are after the tubers. We are after certain things in our crops. So for maize plant, the nitrogen, this 14% is enough, since you will top dress it later with nitrogen or urea. So the 14% is enough for the early stage of your plant. Besides, if it is more than 18%, 14%, let me tell you, there is high tendency that, certain percentage or amount of this nitrogen will be lost into the atmosphere, will disappear, will be converted into ammonia gas, or it will leach out of your soil. So this 14% in this fertilizer is enough for you. And the next component is phosphorus. Let me tell you, virtually every crop you cultivate or you are planting requires phosphorus. P is very important, very essential in the growth and development of your plant. Now, let me show you something like this. Now you see, if this is your maize plant, we say that nitrogen will help in the overall growth and development of your plant. That is all for nitrogen. But when it comes to P, you see, it will help in what? Root growth and development. That is why for people who are growing root and tuber crops, you will see them looking for DAP, diammonium phosphate. And DAP contains only nitrogen and phosphorus. But why is it that people will choose DAP over NPK 15-15-15? P helps in what? Root growth and development. Greater stalk. You know stalk? This is a maize stalk. It helps in the development of the stalk. That is why if the people who use DAP, hardly do they go back to do earthing up, because there is strong root development, and then there is not any wind or breeze that will come and be pushing your plant away. It helps in the overall crop quality. It equally helps in the uniformity of your plant growth. You will see uniform and early growth and maturity. So somebody who is using phosphorus in his plant, you will discover that there is early growth and then the growth is uniform. You won't experience a situation whereby certain parts they are tall, others are short. Yes, you will see uniformity in growth. And that is the beauty of using phosphorus. Another function is what? High grain production. You see, if you use fertilizers that are rich in phosphorus, or fertilizer that contain high percentage of phosphorus, you will discover that there will be high grain production, big crops. That is the function of phosphorus. So supposing your fertilizer is only rich in nitrogen, you will discover that everything is greenish, but you will see some small crops, and then the grains will just be tiny and anyhow. But when you have fertilizers that are rich in phosphorus, you will discover that it will lead to high grain production. So this is what you stand to gain from what? From the phosphorus, 31% P. And as a matter of fact, I'm yet to see any generic fertilizer in the market that have up to what? Up to 20% phosphorus. Let's talk of 31. Because the highest you can see in the market is what? 15-15-15 and 27-13-13, and then and then some few others that maybe the percentage will be slightly greater than that. But with this maize-blended fertilizer, you stand to gain 31% phosphorus. So the next element here is what? Sulfur. Sulfur helps in what? In protein metabolism. When we say protein metabolism, these plants you have, they are living things. Just like we need protein, we need carbohydrate, we need water, we need this and that. That is how our maize plant or different crops that we are growing require different elements. So the sulfur you are seeing will help in what? Protein metabolism. It will also help in the fixation of nitrogen in the soil, especially if you are growing a leguminous crop. Legumes. Now you see, legumes do not require high nitrogen like that. That is why if you look at this fertilizer, it is NPK 82230. That is 8% of nitrogen. We have 22% phosphorus and 30% potassium. Do you know the reason why people who grow potato, that is potato farmers, go to look for SSP to add to their fertilizer? That is single superphosphate. They will go and be looking for SSP, MOP, and be adding to, because such crops require P and K. So you will see them looking for MOP to add to their fertilizer. In this fertilizer, when I open this bag, you will see that, it's as if everything is red inside because it contains 30% potassium. I was telling you something about what? About sulfur. Now, you see, I say it helps in what? Protein synthesis. It helps in fixation of what? Nitrogen in the soil. Now, it is possible for you to apply nitrogen, or there will be nitrogen in the atmosphere, but it won't be fixed in such a way that, our crops can benefit from it. So sulfur helps in the fixation of nitrogen in the soil. Now, the next element is what? Is zinc. Zinc helps in chlorophyll production. It helps in carbohydrate metabolism. Now you will discover that, whereas sulfur is helping in protein synthesis, the zinc is helping in what? Carbohydrate metabolism. As if the zinc is helping in the carbohydrate aspect of your plant, and then the sulfur is trying to help in the protein synthesis. So the two are working hand in hand. I want to tell you something about the different parts of your plant, even as I discuss about the benefit that you stand to gain from zinc. That's why I sketched this. This is what we call the tassel. And this is the tassel, when you look at a matured maize plant, you will discover that the upper part, you will see something as if it is rice plant at the top of it. That is called tassel. Are we together? This tassel, without the tassel, there won't be cups. And without the leaves, there won't be cups. Without the silk, there won't be cups. Now you see, it is after you have early leaf development, and then there is a strong leaf guide here. Zinc will help in early ear formation. Now the whole of this part that helps in holding what? The maize cob is referred to as the ear. Since this is ear, and then we said zinc helps in the early ear development. So there are plants that, you will discover that the maize is very tall, but, there is no any sign of this ear development or the tassels. It therefore means that something is lacking. The zinc helps in what? It helps in early ear development and what? And lastly, we said what? Leaf size. It is the size of the leaf that will help to hold the cups in place. So boron is one of the microelements that maize required. When you look at this maize, right? Looking at this maize, there is this part we call the tassel, and we have the silk, and we have the ear. You see, it is this part and this part that helps in playing a role that we call pollination, the transfer of the pollen grain from the anther to the stigma. In our elementary science, we were told something like pollination and the rest. In maize plant, boron helps in tassel and silk formation. So without boron in your fertilizer, you will discover that there is delay in the tassel development, there is delay in the silk formation, and also, it is not just enough for the tassel to be produced. Sometimes you will discover that the tassel will be produced, but before it is matured to reach a stage that pollination will take place, everything will be destroyed. So this helps in tassel and silk formation. It helps in what? Flower retention. It helps in what? Pollination. It also helps in the movement of sugar from the leaves to the ear. There is something when we talk about carbohydrate and the rest, that is sugar. That is the energy of your plant. So it helps in the, whatever element you are applying, whatever fertilizer you're applying it to the soil. So when it reaches the soil, now it transports it into the different parts of your plant. But in the case of maize, you discover that, the sugar will move straight to the leaves. Now, it is actually boron that helps in transporting the sugar from the leaves to the ear. Because this maize you are seeing is carbohydrate. These are the things you stand to gain when you use this crop-specific fertilizer. Like I said, this is maize fertilizer. This is a maize plant. We have this part we call a tassel. We have what? We have the leaf blade, that is the leaves. We have the silk. One hairy part on top of the cup is known as the silk. And you have the ear. Are we together? That is the ear is that component that holds the cup together. Are we together? And we have the stalk. What again? We have the root. You all know the root. Are we together? So nitrogen helps in the overall growth and development of this plant, whereas phosphorus helps in the root growth. It helps in greater stalk development. That is, the stalk of your plant will be great, guided. Beside that, you will have crop quality. You will have good quality crop. You will have uniform growth and development in your plant. You won't have a scenario where some parts are tall, others are short. No, you have uniform growth and development. And then I say high grain production, right? It is possible for you because you are using some microelement that help in the tassel and the silk formation. You will discover that, you have up to 2-3 cups. Yes. So sometimes, it is not enough for you to buy a seed that, they will tell you that, the seed can give you up to 2-3 cups. No. If you don't use the right fertilizer, it will be difficult for you to be able to achieve such things. So all I'm trying to tell you today is there are crop-specific fertilizers. And these special fertilizers are produced by, maybe I will do a video to tell you more about this rice-blended fertilizer. Yes, if I have the opportunity, I will do another video to tell you more about this rice-blended fertilizer. I just want to believe that this video will guide you